owners of fine luxury cardboard rectangles, my friends, I hope the day finds you well, because we have gathered to take a look at what is inside the Streets of New Capenna Welcome Booster. Now, if you are not familiar with Welcome Boosters, this is a concept that Wizards has recently introduced to the game, and with each set now, they release a new edition of these boosters. The contents of Welcome Boosters are identical, so if you get one of these, it will be exactly the same as what I'm about to show you here. The idea behind these is they're sent out to LGSs and they're given out to brand new players of Magic the Gathering to kind of introduce them to a number of different concepts. So this is in my historical openings series, and what we do with these is we take a look at them specifically from the perspective of being a new player to see how well they do a job of introducing you into the overall world. So you can see straight out of the gate, we start with this Welcome to the World of Magic card with specifically unique artwork that was created just for this, which I like. You've got the brass knuckles, which are the sign of New Capenna. You've got this kind of flaring flame around it as well with the Planeswalker symbol embedded into it. It's pretty sweet. And it says, here are some cards to help get you started. You can actually flip it over, and on the other side, you'll see there's no wrong way to play. And you can see, have fun and play with a group in Commander, play with the newest cards in Standard, open boosters, and play a new deck each time in Booster Draft. And I like to see if Wizards' priorities have shifted at all between the last Welcome Booster and this one. And in this case, they are still prioritizing Commander at the top, followed by Standard. So, in my opinion, this sort of card really does give you a good idea of what Wizards kind of says this is top ranking, and if you look at the priorities Wizards has for designing things right now, Commander does appear to be number one. Now, the first thing, we have another non-card card at the beginning. This one introduces you to the concept of going out and playing Friday Night Magic, which is a pretty solid idea overall. Get out and play with these cards that you've acquired. We've seen this one a lot. And then on the other side, you've got Join the Magic Community. Talk with your local store about your first purchase. And you got Fibblethip staring around. What do I buy? But he's not even looking in the right direction. Why are you looking away from the product, Fibblethip? Anyways, so we're starting out with Wrecking Crew. So straight out of the gate, you're getting a foil. Now, Wrecking Crew is 1 red and 4 for a 4/5 human warrior with reach and trample. And the flavor text says, they built the neighborhood, they know its weak points, they know all the hiding places. When they come for you, they'll find you and bring the roof down on your head. So this is very clearly a straightforward concept. This is a warrior that is going to smash over you. You may not really get the idea of reach right away and go, okay, I don't know what it means by reach, but trample's a pretty straightforward concept. When you look at the artwork, you can see this is a giant brute. He's got a massive ball and chain hammer that he's swinging here. So you can see this is some kind of gigantic heavy hitter squad, right? You can see as well from the flavor text that these guys are intrinsic to the world of Capenna and are building it, but something underneath has made them quite angry. So it's an interesting first peek into the world that makes you wonder what's going on. Then we've got a forest. This is just a glimpse into the actual landscape of Capenna. This particular artwork is quite nice. If I'm not mistaken, this is Maestro's territory right here, because the Maestros have basically near the top of this one building a beautiful museum and all the setup, and this kind of gives that sort of vibe to me. But a new player wouldn't know that. They would just see this and go, okay, so we've got a basic land here, it's a forest, it's all foily, and the artwork looks nice. So it's going to be a very subjective sort of thing, but it does give you a picture into the world of Capenna. After that, we've got, oh no, this isn't good. If all the welcome boosters are like this is going to be a problem right here. This is the first time I've seen an error with one of these boosters, but this is definitely a mistake and is not going to lead to a good situation in terms of exploring the world of Magic for a new player. Okay, so I guess everything applies to the previous version of this. What's after it? Okay, good. It's not enough. I was just like, if it's another foil forest, this pack might be a nightmare. But that's not the case. So, Commander's Sphere. 3 casting cost artifact. Tap to add 1 mana of any color in your commander's color identity. Sacrifice Commander Sphere. Draw a card. So this ties into the idea of Commander that was introduced on that little insert card we saw before and gives you the idea of the Commander's color identity. So this can be a nice little lead into Commander that also is totally usable in Commander. If you hop into Commander, regardless of who you choose to use, you're going to be able to use this sphere if you so desire, right? So it is definitely a solid include. After that, we've got Metropolis Angel. Okay, so we get another view at Capenna now. This is 1 blue, 1 white, and 2 for a 3/1 flying angel soldier. Whenever you attack with 1 or more creatures with counters on them, draw a card. And the flavor text says, angels are living proof that power does not always lead to corruption. And that is a quote from Elspeth, right? So we have one of the Capenna angels that showed up at the very end of the story. If you've only read the story and don't know the story that's portrayed on the cards, you may be slightly confused because in the story, it doesn't actually say the angels return. But if you put the story together with the cards, apparently the stone statues in Capenna were actually angels encased in stone. The angels weren't actually gone, they were still there. So that's for those of us who are more entrenched in the game. For somebody who's new and doesn't know anything, they're just going to see this and go, okay, cool. We've got like an angel, it's got like this beefy power level, and whenever I have creatures with counters on them and swing with them, I get to draw a card. So clearly this is something that's going to play into a counter concept, and presumably somebody who's just gotten to Magic is already at least passingly familiar with counters, but if they're not, they're definitely going to be like, wait a minute, okay, so how does this work? How do I get counters? And you've got the artwork where you've got this angel kind of flowing upwards, looking pretty intense. Not too shabby. It's got a nice chunk of flavor. It's too bad about the double foils. Then we've got Darling of the Masses. 1 white, 1 green, and 2 for a 2/4 elf citizen. Other citizens you control get +1/+0. So this is going to be your first introduction to the concept of a tribal idea. You're going to go, oh, wait a minute. This is a citizen that boosts other citizens. And if I had 2 of these, they would each give each other a bonus, right? And on top of that, it says, whenever Darling of the Masses attacks, create a 1/1 green and white citizen creature token. So not only is it a tribal lord, but it is also a creature generator. So you get all of that together on one card, which feels great. Every time you swing with this, it's going to make a 1/1, but as long as she's out, it's actually going to be a 2/1. And for 4 mana, that's not too shabby, even though it is just an uncommon. The flavor text says, the people flock to the glittering parade, turning their backs on the threats in the shadows. And you can see this lady riding a panther down through like a rose petals, and they're throwing roses at her and stuff. That is pretty amazing overall. I like the flavor on that. So it definitely transmits a number of concepts at once as well. After that, what do we have? We have, Ob Nixilis. This is a good include because Ob Nixilis features into the new Capenna story, and this is a previous iteration of him, right? 2 black and 3 for a 5 loyalty planeswalker. His +1 is draw a card and lose a life. His -3 is destroy target creature, and his ultimate is -8. Target opponent gets an emblem with, whenever a player draws a card, you lose 2 life. So it's like a super insane Underworld Dreams ultimate that triggers off of my draws and my opponent draws, but only they pay the price, which is pretty epic, right? So this introduces the concept of planeswalkers to the players. There you go. Here is a planeswalker. Here's what it's like. It's got these crazy abilities. And once you understand how a planeswalker works, even though it's not explained on this card, that will also factor into the counter situation that we were talking about from the previous card as well. So introducing planeswalkers obviously is going to be something Wizards wants to do quickly to players, considering that planeswalkers are one of the most powerful and also just kind of story-wise, one of the biggest points that they kind of hinge everything on, right? It feels like nowadays pretty much all the heroes will be planeswalkers, all the villains will be planeswalkers, at least at the highest tiers. And then we'll have some other stuff kind of shoved in here or there. You know, you've got the Phyrexians coming in, and they're not really planeswalkers, but at the same time, they're bringing planeswalkers under their thumb. But either way, Magic is mostly about planeswalkers nowadays. So including one, specifically one that ties into Capenna, makes perfect sense for this pack. And then we've got Meet Elspeth right after Ob Nixilis. Don't meet Ob Nixilis. You got Meet Elspeth here, and she's in her flapper girl outfit. So on the back of this, I assume it's got more information about Elspeth? Indeed it does. Elspeth Tyrael is a brave knight with a strong sense of duty and a mastery of powerful radiant magic. As a child, she fled her unknown home plane when it was attacked by the terrifying Phyrexians. She believes it is her moral responsibility to save the day whenever the opportunity presents itself, and it often does. Elspeth believes New Capenna may be her home plane and is searching for evidence of a Phyrexian incursion. Can we be clear about something from this? This is going to confuse people, because the story of New Capenna is just about the city of New Capenna. The plane's not called New Capenna, but basically it's Elspeth believes New Capenna may be her home plane. So, I mean, obviously this is just a little flavor quibble, but in terms of something that's designed for new players, it's straight up giving misinformation, bro. We literally don't know the plane Capenna is on. I want to know the plane Capenna is on. This is a tease to me. Anyhow, let's move on. Hey, Kogla. I love this guy. He's awesome. 3 green and 3 for a 7/6 legendary ape. When he enters the battlefield, he fights up to 1 target creature you don't control. Whenever he attacks, destroy an artifact or enchantment defending player controls. And 1 green and 1, return target human you control to its owner's hand. He gains indestructible until end of turn. Admittedly, that last ability I've rarely ever used. But this is a very much in-your-face, grab a new player by the scruff of their neck and go, look at this! Look at the power! Doesn't it feel awesome? I mean, dude, it's a huge hulking creature. It's 7/6. When it shows up, it smashes another dude into pulp. Every time it swings, it tears apart enchantments or artifacts. It's just this epic force of nature that feels great on so many levels. And if somebody happens to be a King Kong fan, they're also going to get that vibe off it. It's a very random include in some ways, it feels like, because Ikoria isn't in standard, right? But at the same time, it is a legendary creature that you could use for commander. And it definitely has the straightforward, pay attention to me style abilities that even the newest player can appreciate. I'm a huge fan of this card. I gotta get a foil one of these for my cube now that I'm thinking about it. This is absolutely awesome. I love that it's been included. What do we got after that? Ooh, Sunblast Angel. They're giving some really nice flashy rares. 2 white and 4 for a 4/5 flyer. When it enters the battlefield, destroy all tapped creatures. So obviously you're going to use this after your opponent swung and went downtown on you. You're like, oh, that's nice. All you guys are tapped. Surprise, Angel. Boom. All you guys are gone. It might lead to a hilarious noob moment where somebody actually attacks before playing the Angel and then realizes by playing it, they'll destroy their own tapped creatures and has to wait another turn or puts it out and they go, oh, wait, let me take it back. And then their opponent knows about it, right? So you could have that kind of silliness going on. But this, again, is another big creature with a very powerful effect where it's going to be quite evident how to use this card and how you're going to maximize your return on it, right? And the artwork is nice too. I dig it. What do we got after that? Whoop. Mr. Orfeo. I was going to call him Mr. Oreo. Orpheus. Mr. Orfeo the Boulder. A green, a red, a black, and 1 for a 2/4 legendary Rhino Warrior. Whenever you attack, double target creature's power until end of turn. That, again, is a right-in-your-face feel-good ability. So you're going to see the card and go, whoa, I like that ability. You're also going to see the frame as a new player and go, whoa, look at this. This is wildly different from most of the Magic cards that I've seen. What exactly is this? So this is a new player's introduction to styles. And if you haven't seen the etched foil versions of this card styling, they are absolutely incredible. Wizards really nailed it with Capenna, specifically in terms of the etched high-rise foils. They are beautiful, right? But yeah, this is a very striking card in terms of the frame and everything. And the artwork as well. I like the guy with just the shovel and the hammer, again, transmitting that concept of the Riveteer's sort of working class aura, right? Not too shabby. And then we have the Arena Code. So this is for the Wild Wizardry deck on Magic Arena. And this code has not been used by me, so the first person to find it and plug it into their Arena account will get their hands on this deck. So each one of these packs will have a code specifically for this deck. Each one of these packs will have every card that I showed you in here, presumably right down to the unfortunate error of the Wrecking Crew doubling up. At the end of the day, that's not the biggest problem in the world, but it does ultimately lead to a weird feel in the booster pack, right? Is it actually a bonus card? I don't know how many cards are supposed to be in these packs here. 2, 4, 6, 8. Is there 8 Is there 8 actual playable cards in these? Hold on. 7, 9. Okay, never mind. There's 9. I don't know if that is over or not. Oh, never mind. There's 10. Okay, so that's probably accurate. All right, then. Well, that wraps up opening up the Welcome Booster. I hope you enjoyed this historical opening. A big thank you to all of my patrons. A link on the screen to more opening videos if you want to see other packs being opened. And I will see you all, my friends, next time.